So we're continuing the final battle between Deku and Shigaraki here, because in the previous chapter, Shigaraki was able to take the 4th user's quirk Danger Sense from him. So now Deku is at a big disadvantage, also considering that Shigaraki is targeting Mount freaking Fuji to destroy with Decay. And we see that Shigaraki has launched a Decay tidal wave at Izuku, but Izuku stands in front of it, about to launch a counterattack, but we see that he has been using Black Whip underneath his skin, wrapping directly around the muscle itself as like a brace so that he can keep fighting. I mean, we've seen Izuku do this type of thing throughout the series, but this is like the ultimate example of it. In fact, it says he's doing it unconsciously. So while he's also doing this, his big counterattack to this Decay tidal wave is Maximum Fa Jin, which is the 3rd user's quirk, building up kinetic energy for one big movement, but the maximum version of it. Like, we're going Jujutsu Kaisen rules here. And he's combining that with a Delaware Smash. So it just makes this huge gust of wind pressure, like blowing everything away, successfully saving Mount Fuji in the process, but also destroying all of the ground and anything that was targeted in the path of Shigaraki's Decay, because we know that it spreads now. And he just blows Shigaraki away in the process. And he's like, "You're clever, Midoriya." But Shigaraki could just keep doing it. It's not like he's stopped here. He can just keep touching the ground and keep, activating Decay and going after Mount Fuji, which he tries to do, because as he's coming down from being blown away, he suddenly sees smoke everywhere, because he originally thought it was just a dust cloud, but no, it's actually Izuku using the 6th user's quirk, Smoke Screen, in combination with the low gear of Gear Shift, the 2nd user's, which makes it last longer. And he's doing this in an attempt to disrupt Shigaraki's Danger Sense, because he realizes that it's not like a perfect quirk. Like, it is based off of Spider Sense, but it's not as broken and reliable as Spider Sense actually is. It can malfunction if you, disrupt it enough with, I guess, sensory overload to an extent, which he figured out in his battle against Nagan. So using the smoke screen, he's able to do that, and he's attacking through the smoke screen with Black Whip, using them like tentacles. This is like a really cool sequence. I love when Horikoshi does this stuff with Izuku, like synergistically using all of his quirks together. It's just some of the best moments of the series, in my opinion. And doing this, he's bypassing Shigaraki's Danger Sense and is able to successfully get the jump on him, comes through the smoke screen, and punches off Shigaraki's freaking arm. However, Shigaraki still has a contingency to all of this, because he still has the Search quirk. This quirk came from Ragdoll. When All For One took it from her, I think way back in the beginning of season 3, that quirk is pretty busted looking back on it now, because it allows her to know everything about a person that she looks at, like their location and even their freaking weaknesses, and she could do it for up to 100 people at a time. So this allows Shigaraki to see Izuku through the smoke screen here, and he tries to attack him with the Black All For One tendril quirk thing, but on top of that, he finally sees everything that is affecting Izuku here, and he's like, "You can't breathe, can you?" And on top of that, he can also see the Black Whip underneath his skin, creating a brace around his muscles. But Shigaraki saying that "Hey, you can't breathe here" is in reference to Gear Shift, because Banjo, the 5th user, he's like, "Gear Shift's over and the recoil's kicking in." Because we found out, I think it was last year when Izuku was fighting against All For One, when we first found out about Gear Shift, he was using it on himself and altering himself down to a molecular level, using the Gear Shift on his freaking cells. So he was becoming Ultra Super Saiyan, but he can only do it for 15 minutes or 5 minutes, something like that. I knew there was a 5 in there. And then after that time limit ran out, he was essentially going to pass out from the stress. And I guess we finally got to that point now. And he can't even breathe properly. I mean, I guess he's breathing, but I don't know, forcing himself to do it, if that makes sense. So eventually, he is going to completely gas out and stop moving. But after that, Shigaraki's like, "That attack from before. It's not something you can keep using non-stop. Honestly, an attack like that could have caused me some trouble. You just have too much you need to protect Midoriya." So he's referring to when he came out through the smokescreen and punched Shigaraki's arm off. At that moment in time, on paper, Izuku could have killed Shigaraki. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's multiple times throughout this fight, throughout this arc, that Izuku could have already killed Shigaraki. He's clearly strong enough to be able to do it. Like, he could just punch his head off if he wanted to. Like, think about it. He could easily punch his head off instead of his arm. Like, we've come to this final battle in the series, and it's not like the typical final battle where like the hero is like at a huge disadvantage and he kind of needs to like have this talk no jutsu or this power of friendship to be able to get this random power up or this random ability to be able to overcome the villain. It's like, no, he already has all the power he needs and he can kill the villain. He's just choosing not to because he wants to save him. Because in response to what Shigaraki said, Izuku's like, you know, I won't give up on that crying boy, referring to Tenko, you know, who Shigaraki originally was as a child. Because we've also seen that there's like this fragment of his personality or a vestige. It's not fully explained, but there's something within Shigaraki that is manifested as Tenko being like restrained. And Izuku can see it the same way that Shigaraki can see the vestiges in Izuku. And in response to that, Shigaraki's like, everyone sees the world through their own lens. All you're trying to do is unravel me through your own pathetic lens. And it's like, as a creator, that really is hitting home, if you get my drift. But he says, look carefully. You should be able to notice it, that little boy stopped crying a long time ago. He changed the lens through which he sees the world and turned into Tomura Shigaraki. There's no suffering left inside me. And where Tenko was is now just like almost like a Chibaku Tensei from Naruto with like all of this rubble packed into this hole. This could be Horikoshi like showing us that age-old saying of like, you know, you can't fill a hole if you just keep putting things in there. Like there's still going to be a hole, you know, inside of you as a person. So I don't think Tenko is actually gone. It's just that instead of the All for One hands holding him back as they were originally, I think now that All for One is dead, Shigaraki himself has plugged in this hole with like debris covering up Tenko. But I'm pretty sure he's still there. But first, guys, let's talk about the new Waifu Cup launch that is dropping today at 3 p.m. Eastern. This time it's Skater Girl, and this is by far one of the most risque Waifu Cup designs that they have had so far. I'm pretty sure I can't even show this on YouTube, but if you want to see it, you can always go to the link in the description and make sure you use code BIGZ for 10% off. It also comes in a t-shirt, a freaking skateboard, beanie, and a fingerboard, and a gamer sleeve. And make sure you pair it with some gamer subs too, in case you haven't already picked up some. Got Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Energy, both caffeine and caffeine free. We've got freaking lean and sour apple. Sometimes I like to mix lean with Cursed Energy, shake it up, and I call it Hollow Technique Purple. And also, guys, they got new sus bars out, and they have chocolate this time. These things are amazing. They only have 100 calories and 1 gram of sugar and 8 grams of protein. Love these things, and so does my girlfriend. So guys, again, check the link in the description and use code BIGZ for 10% off. Thanks, guys. But this comes to Nana, the 7th user of One For All, also Shigaraki's grandmother, inside of Izuku, and she's like, give up. Izuku, some people can't be saved. He represents the biggest wall in the way of your heroism, and it's fine if you can't overcome it. Just friggin' kill him. Finish him with a single powerful attack. It's okay. Store more energy than you ever have before. Just kill him. And like I was saying, Izuku can do this, but he's just not going to. And he's like, you know, if it was that easy, the pain from the past wouldn't be bothering the both of you so much. Which is true. It's like it's still bothering Shigaraki no matter how cool he's trying to play it. And it's also bothering Nana. Like, she definitely wants him to be saved, but at this point she's lost all hope and she feels that the lesser of two evils is just freaking killing the ultimate evil here, which I agree with for sure. But, you know, Izuku has unrequited altruism. He is like too much of a hero to his own detriment. He's essentially like a Disney-fied version of what All Might was, because All Might's not afraid to kill. I mean, he is ultimate justice, and he will save, but if he needs to, he will freaking kill. Like, he popped All For One's head and literally killed him. Izuku, not so much. And going further, Izuku, in response to what he was just saying about it bothering them, he's like, if it was swept under the rug, and then we see like this flashback to when Shigaraki was fighting Izuku in the first war, when he's like, you pretended not to see those you couldn't protect and swept their pain under the rug. That was more so a statement against all heroes, because that is partly true, especially in this world, and even in our own to an extent, actually to a large extent, depending on where you live. But he's also referring to like his childhood and how no one helped him, you know, when he had his big tragedy happen. But it's more so, you know, just just a commentary on hero society in general as well. It's like, yeah, they can protect and save and be seen as these glorious saviors and heroes, but the ones that they couldn't protect, they just, we didn't see it. It's just swept under the rug. But Izuku's like, nah, I won't stop fighting until I've shredded that rug with my own hands. And it's like, yeah, I am the real hero. I'm going to save everyone. And I'm not going to turn a blind eye to a single person. It's like, yeah, Izuku is the ultimate hero with unrequited altruism. Like, he's even surpassing Tanjiro finally, because at least Tanjiro was killing people. Like, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, while he does have a very polarizing personality, he's still a freaking murderer. Izuku, again, not so much. So I think Izuku might win the award for like the cleanest Shonen Jump MC ever. But going more into that, the second user is like, that's why I opposed him. It's like he wanted us to devote our efforts to save our mortal enemy. And it's like, at first I thought he was a peace-seeking fool, but then I looked into his memories and I finally understood. And it's like, also, wait, the vestiges can look into the memories of their host? That's kind of an invasion of privacy, but whatever. And he's like, this boy doesn't give up on anyone. Even the boy he should hate, referring to Bakugo, or a fellow quirkless person, he always chose to believe in the heart, deep inside of them. And it's like, yeah, that's Izuku. Like, he's not going to kill Shigaraki. He's going to keep fighting until he saves him or saves Tenko. And in the final moments of the chapter, we suddenly see Star and Stripe's hand pointing, and it looks like she's inside of the All For One vestige world. And it's like, how is this happening? Because Star and Stripe was like vaporized right after Shigaraki / All For One took her quirk. We saw her vestige inside of the All For One world, like rebelling and fighting off the other quirk factor vestiges within him and destroying some of them, like taking some quirks from him. But we thought that she was gone, but maybe there's like a remnant of her left or something, because the second user and All Might's vestige ghosts somehow are able to see this? So are they seeing like a phantom of a vestige? Or is this not even like a real thing that's happening, and it's kind of just them thinking on the fly of like, wait, Star and Stripe was able to rebel within All For One, so maybe that's the plan here. Because in the last panel, the second user talking to Izuku is like, boy, do as I say, we are betting on you. You have to let go of One For All. And we see the moment of when Izuku, I think, finds out that All Might was nerfed, like back in the very beginning of the first season, like when he's bowing in front of him crying. So what I think this means is that they want Izuku to give Shigaraki One For All. Like, hey, give him what he wants. This is how we can beat him, because maybe once he has One For All inside of him, the vestiges can rebel the way that Star and Stripe did, and they can kill him from the inside out. And even once they're inside of that vestige world, maybe that's when they can get through to Tenko, like get through that rubble possibly. And also, this is a great way for Nana to finally talk to Shigaraki, because Tenko really did admire Nana. Like, he would look at pictures of her and stuff, and it was his dad who like abused him because of that. Now, also, if this does happen and Shigaraki is rendered quirkless, or if they're able to destroy the All For One quirk factor from within, he's not powerless at that point. He still has like the quirk singularity body, because we saw that when Aizawa was turning off his quirk during the initial battle at the beginning of this arc, he still was super powerful and could do the Tetsuo body stuff. So I don't think Izuku can fight him quirkless, unless I'm missing something here. But there's going to be some craziness going on, and I still do think that this will end with Izuku getting both One For All and All For One. But man, things are getting really interesting now, especially if he does give him One For All, which it seems like it's going to happen. Or maybe he gets it back after he gives it to him, after they like sabotage him from the inside. Maybe he gets One For All back, possibly, and then finishes him off. Not really sure, but man, it is so exciting right now. We are in the final couple chapters of the series, and I'm just looking forward to how this fight plays out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and if you liked it, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.